Okay, so let's start now. It's 9:10. I think we've waited enough. So a few days ago I sent this link on our GDG group for this code lab. Have any of you guys gone through it? If anyone could just turn on their mics and just tell me if you guys gone through this link. Did any of you guys go through it? Does anyone just turn on their mics and just tell me? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So this link, I'll just go through it, and we can just see what all is included. And so for this this meeting will be recorded, so for future purposes also people can refer to this video. And in the code lab, we have our just to get started with Android. So these days, for developing with Android Studio, we are mostly using Jetpack Compose. Like if you go through any of the recent documentations, everything is using Jetpack Compose. And basically, Jetpack Compose is a toolkit made by Android. So it's like removing the need of writing XML code that we used to write, so that just like for web, we have HTML and CSS, JavaScript. For Android, we have Kotlin and XML. But nowadays, with our Jetpack Compose, the new toolkit, it provides these composable functions in which you don't have to write XML code separately. So you can just build like the front end of the app, like the widgets, the states, everything just through Kotlin itself. So that's why we're just mostly just going to focus on Jetpack Compose because it's like the recent most used part of Android development these days. So in the first part of the code lab, we have introduction to programming in Kotlin. So we can just go ahead to here. Do any of you guys have any experience with Kotlin? If anyone could just tell me. Or are we just starting from scratch? I guess I know some of you guys have experience, but I do see some new names here. So for them, we'll be starting from the very beginning. So to write Kotlin code, we just go. You guys can follow along on your own with this code lab. I sent the link before, so just go to that code lab and then you can complete it. And if you guys do complete it in the end, you can send like either a screenshot or just send the link of your Google developer profile page, and then that I can see if you guys have done the batch. So that's like when we're going to that's how we're going to know who is actually doing anything. And okay, to practice Kotlin code, we can use the Kotlin playground. The link is right there. So this is the Kotlin playground. So in the playground, you can just practice Kotlin code. So let's just accept all. And here we see just a basic function of in Kotlin just to print hello world. The first stepping stone of any just learning any programming language, we mostly learn how to write hello world in just a simple one print line statement. So we define functions in Kotlin using fun. So instead of how we have in other languages, we have maybe def in Python and like function in C. So for Kotlin, we have fun, and main is where the program starts running. So does the main like starting point of the program. So that's where the driving code goes. So it's the same kind of concept we have in Kotlin as we have in other languages as well. So me sir this tab. You just go through this. It's not once it's like very easy to grasp Kotlin if you have other programming language experiences. So parts of a function. So fun, and then main is the name of the function, and we usually name the first function of our program as main. And inside of the function, we have our function body. So here we have the println statement with hello world in quotations. And it's just a very similar syntax. So we don't have to get intimidated with learning Kotlin, but it's good to know how the syntax is. So in case if you're programming without any reference docs, so you could just, it's not that difficult. And suppose this is done. Let's go on to the next code lab. Create and use variables in Kotlin. See through this. So in every language we define variables, and that's how we store data, right? So in Kotlin also we have to store data in some ways. So we have var and val. We also have int, double, float, boolean, just the similar things we have in every language. In this example, they have an app where a phone number is stored as well as a string. So for the numbers, we could use int, and for the string, we could use for the string we can use string. Yeah. One second. Also, because in this example, I think it's a notification. So you could have like a Boolean function, a variable that also just goes true if it's read or false if the message is unread. So that's how you could store that particular data. And let's go to the next page. So define and use variables. Okay, so variable definition. So here you can see an example. So if we have a val and the name of the variable is count and the data type is int, and that equals to 2. And then we're going to print, it's printing this variable count with the println statement. And the output they're getting is 2. So it's very simple. Can move on to the next one. So in case we have a variable that we want to update, we have to use another keyword called var. So in var, we can have like values that can change. In val, we cannot do that. So here in this example, they have a total number of cards, and I think they have updated it to 20, and then they're printing the total number of cards. Also, we have increment and decrement operators. So that's how we can increase the value by a single incrementation. So like here, they have shown like +1. So that just increments the value from like 10 to 1 in this example. So here it was var count equals to 10, and then we print it, and then we see we have 10. But then when we add 1, so this plus is basically the increment operator. And also we could just, instead of doing +1, we could just write count plus plus, and that's uh, how we increment our variables. And as like how we use plus, we could also use the minus sign. So that will become our decrement variable. Now the other data types, so string is used for text, int is used for integer numbers, and double is used for decimal numbers. Boolean is used for true or false. Like how we saw in that example, if a particular message was read, it would be true. If it's not read, it would be saved as false. And in case the condition, if the user does tap on that message, so that action could be read by the program, and then that Boolean variable could change from true to false from true. And double is like just the same in other languages. It stores decimal values. So we have like here 3.20, 4.10, and we can also like add these variables and get um, another decimal number as the output. So yeah, here they have added these three numbers, decimal numbers, and they got a decimal number as the output. And for next we have strings, and it's again we're just defining our string in our double quotations, and then we can just print them. And also here they're concatenating two strings together, and they're getting this output. The two strings, first one's next meeting, and then January 1. So next meeting and date. And when they use the concatenation operator here, the plus sign is being used for concatenating, like joining two strings together. Then that's becoming a single string statement, next meeting, January 1. Okay, I think this is done. We'll go to coding conventions. So coding conventions basically is the particular style that we should follow while programming. So like in Python, we have giving indentations between like in functions or just to make the program run. In Java, we have to use semicolons. So it's just the simple conventions. Also, there's the camel case in Java and the snake case in Python. So just like that, in Kotlin also we have our own conventions. The variable name should be in camel case and start with a lowercase letter. And so here we have our variable name discount, and it's lowercase. And camel case basically means like if we have a variable with more than two words, the first string would be in lowercase, and then the second string would be in uppercase, just like the humps of a camel's back. So that's where the camel case name comes from. And between operators, we'd like to give spaces. This just gives clarity to reading. So if you're working in a Android application in a company with a lot of team members, we want the code to be easily understood and interpreted by everyone. So it's not only us that's reading the code, right? We have our entire team. And we as engineers, as Android developers, we need to make sure that everyone understands what we're doing, and that's how we get interpreted easily. So a most practical way of doing this is by adding comments. So in here it's like a double slash, so two slash symbols is how we make comments, and then the rest of the line is going to be commented automatically. And we can use the single line comments in like just like explaining like of what is the use of a single line or the use of this particular variable. And then we have our multi-line comments. They're used with asterisks and slash. So here we can write like multiple lines, and that's like an example of how you use this in code. So yeah, so that's how we create variables. Go to the next one. Yeah, if you're going to complete this code lab, you'll get badges. So when you do that, just send me the link on our group and I can go through them. There's also a quiz given at the end, so you guys do that on your own time, or you could do it now. Is anyone doing this now? Can I get a yes or no? Anyone?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, setting up Android Studio. I think on last Android session, I showed you guys how basically just like the run through of Android Studio, where you make the project and just create like a basic like template of a project and Android and application and how to run that on your phone. And so I guess it's if you guys want me to go through this again, I could go through it, but I think we're done with this. So let's go ahead with the actual app parts. Wait. Okay, building a basic layout. So in our app, we do when you open an app, you see how the layout is. Like for example, some of you guys must be using Google Meet right now to watch this meeting, or you might be using YouTube to watch videos and tutorials. So when you see an application, you see that there's this layout that they follow that makes it very easy to use and understand for not only the ones who made the application. We want others who are not aware of how to use our application to also, just when they download our app, they should understand like this is the flow of the application. That's how the layout is done. So here in this code lab, I think they have an example where they're making a birthday card app. And let's just go through this. Build a simple app with text composables. So basically, as I told in the beginning, composables are these functions by Jetpack Compose in the Jetpack Compose toolkit. So that's what they're using to make text. Yeah. So in this example, they have hello Android printed. And if you can see in this function, it shows here this at the rate composable. That's called the composable function. And inside that function, they have the fun, the keyword to define a function, the function name, the function body. So happy birthday theme. This line is used just to create the theme of the application. And inside of it, we have greeting Android. And also this on top, this first one at the preview will actually show us the result of this function that's run on an emulator or on your device, virtual device, whatever device you're running the application on. As I saw on the last session, how to run your emulator or how to connect the physical device. So that will actually show in this example. Okay. Okay, here they're adding another text element, so you can add your own function to this display, and then also it will get modified in the code. So let's see the example. Okay, okay, here's the example. Happy birthday, Sam. So, okay, they defined this variable message, and then they wrote the string happy birthday, Sam, and then the string is getting printed there. Changing font size. Okay, so this is like for styling and to create interactive UI elements that helps users to use our app easier, and everything becomes more visible. It becomes maybe if you're going to make a healthcare app, it needs to the UI needs to be in such a way that it is easy for those who are in emergency or they're in immediate like sickness to be able to use the app fast. Or if it's a gaming application, our UI should be fun and interactive. That makes the user stay longer in our app and has more user retention time period. So that's the need of UI. And to make UI, we have different things we could do to the text and background, and we could add icons, images. And for text, here there's first changing the font size, so making a bigger font makes our text more easily to see. And this they defined it as font size 100.sp. So sp is sp means scalable pixels. So basically our app, our any display is made out of pixels. So the more pixels declared here, the bigger it is. And scalable pixels. So you could just scale it to make it bigger or smaller as per your requirements. And okay, now this here is a problem. So as you can see, the text is colliding. So in between all of this, we need some spacing as well, some padding. So we are going to be adding line height. So in line height, it defines how much height to be given to each line, and so that all the words are so separately and not together and jumbled like in this one. So it's important to give like a good amount of spacing between your words. So if you wanted to take up more space, you could make it bigger, but mostly we like to keep our design, our front UI to be concise because I guess there's a lot of Android models and So depend to fit the bigger range of users, some might have older Android models, some might have newer Android models. So as my personal experience, I've seen that keeping your UI as centered as possible can be very beneficial for fitting the large range of different Android users. So maybe some of you guys might have like grandfathers and grandmothers also having Android phones, and they might be using smaller phones compared to our phones, which are much larger in size. So if we want to run an app or make an app for them, we need to make sure that it does so, like the compatibility and the size makes sense. Here they're adding another text, so two texts. So we have two strings. One string is Happy Birthday Sam, and another string is from Emma. And that's getting printed also together. Arrange text elements in a row and column. So basically, in our layout that we previously discussed, in Android, we have in apps we have to like put our elements, our widgets in like particular patterns. So this pattern comes in like two types: the column and the row wise. And also there's a box one, and boxes are used for like more like I guess dashboard style or bento grid style layouts. But mostly in general, you'll find column and row used widely among in apps. So it could be like imagine you have like a list of buttons or different notifications. So all of that you see is as a column or a row. And we define this using row function. And these are also just composable functions. Row, and then there'll be a column as well. So inside our row, we are defining two text functions. So that way, these two texts gets lined up, like the alignment is in that row itself. As you can see here, we have the two texts that they have, Happy Birthday Sam and from Emma, and they're in a row, but obviously the spacing and sizing in this one is not as efficient. So I guess they'll fix that here. Yeah, so they have adjusted the font size and the line height, and that way they have to. Okay, this is a column layout. So here they're showing column. So it's coming one below the other. I think in the previous page we saw that from Emma was on top and it wasn't matching. I mean, it was matching, but spacing wasn't aligned. And so here it's more aligned with each other in a column format, and here it was in a row format because we're using the row composable here. And here we're adding so they're adding a function, the onCreate function. And onCreate is basically just how Android apps start. So if you are not having an onCreate function, your app will not start, and it will just give an error, a bug. So just make sure you always have onCreate. This onCreate function is declared by default. So if you see it, do not delete it from your Android Studio. Like write the code inside the set content function. That's where you define your main theme. This is like the parent theme. So like the concepts of object oriented programming also applies in Kotlin. So we have inheritance. So basically this theme that's being applied in our main activity, our main class activity, is also going to be applied to any of the other screens that we are creating later on as well. So this is like the basics of how you're going to be starting an app. And I think now I want to just discuss with all of you guys. Okay. Is my mic clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, sorry. I think I had some disturbance in the background. There's a function outside, so sorry about that. But yeah, so now that I just like went through the basics of Kotlin, and from now on we're going to be being more like project oriented, because my belief is that we learn better through projects. So you can just go through this code lab just to get the basic like information, and then now we're going to be starting on our actual projects. And I'd like to hear from you guys, your ideas or any like application that you have seen recently and you're inspired by it. You guys can turn on your mics and just feel free to speak. It's just like uh, just few of us here. But yeah, Abdul, do you have anything to say? You can say something. Like any ideas of apps or anything that you want us to be doing in this with our team here. I see some new names here as well. Were you guys present in our previous session? Uh, Akanksha, Sneha, Rosna. Your name is similar to mine. Okay, Sneha, you were present last meeting? Okay. B has given an idea, app that helps us to track our budget. Okay, like a daily spending tracker. And would you like to connect it to some APIs? Maybe this kind of advanced, but like Google Pay. Yeah. You could make a financial app or just like a simple tracker where the user just inputs their daily um, budget at the beginning of the day and just keep track of how much they're spending. That's a good idea. Helps with our habits. Okay, so I'll give you guys a bit of an activity. So uh, by the next session that we have, hopefully next week. Sorry, guys, I'm in my final year and I am kind of I have a very hectic situation. Like, but maybe we'll have a meeting next year and not next year. Sorry, next week, and then we can have like a discussion. And if you guys make any apps, you can just show it with us. So I recommend maybe today, tomorrow, the weekend, just follow some code lab. Like there's a bunch of code labs in the developer.android page. Just follow those code labs, make something, and you can show it next session. Okay, okay. Abdullah has given an idea, an app that helps introvert and new developers to learn, connect, and collaborate and earn some rewards in crypto. Okay, do you know blockchain? I'm not really familiar with blockchain or crypto, so
Yeah, yeah.
okay, you
I
are.
know a little bit.
Okay, cool. You could share your screen. Do you have your app? You have any apps? I think you have a lot of apps, right?
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
developed before.
So there is one app which I was talking. Let me show you
Yeah, you can
this.
definitely share your screen and show us.
Wait a second, guys.
Yeah, no problem. Take your time. Okay, that's cool.
So this is the one. It is called Garka Cooler, and this is what I am currently working on.
Okay, nice. What does it do exactly?
So it exactly connects the developer. They can learn. They can collaborate with each other.
Okay, okay, nice. So you've used Android and Jetpack Compose or
No,
Flutter?
I have used Android with Java native.
Java. Okay, Java. Okay. Okay, nice. So you can just like share resources, like connect with other developers.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Are you going to, is it published on Play Store?
Nah, it is not currently published, but I am looking into it.
Okay. I'm thinking that through this team, we'll at least like publish maybe like few apps. That would be cool, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But we'll need to set up a developer account. I
yeah. Correct.
try to see if there's any way through GDG, like maybe they would give us a free developer account. Otherwise, yeah, we'll see about that. Nice.
So in this app, there is a reward system based on cryptocurrency.
Okay, okay. Could you explain more of cryptocurrency and how it is applied on your application?
So basically, in my application of cryptocurrency, what is the role of the cryptocurrency in my application? It is somewhat like a reward part.
Okay.
In the application, like user will connect, they will spend time in the application, they will engage in the, there are like many different communities in the application. Okay, so they will engage, and based on their engagement, based on their activities, they will get some crypto rewards, then they will
Activities
solve
as in, can you
as
elaborate?
as in like connecting with developers, like chatting and all, like building stuffs and all.
Okay. Okay. That's a very good application.
Thanks.
Yeah. Does anyone else have you guys made anything before? I think most of this team is just new to Android development. It's completely fine. The core committee, Runal Abdul just spoke. Okay, Abhi, you're a total newbie here. Great. Yeah, no problem. Just follow those code labs. Try to make the application. If you have any doubts, ask on the group. Just like you guys, or if the doubt is too me, you
Uh,
can just text me. What?
Roshni, your voice is not clear.
Hello. Yeah, is it working now? I think my mic disconnected.
Yeah, it is working now.
What was the last thing I said? Okay, so for the newbies, just go through the code lab and If you have any doubts, just ask it on the group, become more interactive. If the doubt is too silly, you can just text me. You could text Abdul, he has a good experience. And also Runa, she's our previous ex Android lead. And yeah, so I think that's enough for today. Is there a different group? No, there is one Android group in GDG, the WhatsApp one, right? And that's where you got the link to join. So that's the group. It has uh I am not okay, you're not in the Android group. Which group are you? You're from Amity, right? If you're from Amity, just you could find my number. Okay, wait. Yeah, just find my number and just text me. I'll add you to the group. Oh, you're not. Okay. Yeah, I think you can just find. I'm on the group, right? I sent messages there before. You can find my number on that. Just ping me, and I'll send you the link to join the Android group. So, which college are you from, or are you? Okay. Okay. Cool. Nice to have you here. How is this experience? Sorry we weren't that much. Didn't do that much today. It's kind of late. But yeah, next time we'll have like interactive like project sessions where we can like discuss and show different applications that you guys have built, or we could go more in depth with different UI concepts, or even like other types of ways, like also like Firebase. We could connect databases, Firebase, and yeah. So I think with that, this will conclude. So thanks guys for joining this meeting. See you next week. Oh wait, God, not in that group as well. Okay, is any you have my number or do you not have my number? Okay, I'll just send my number on the group. Whoever wants to join, just text me 37649761. That's my number. Just text me and I'll add you to the Android group. Okay. Okay guys. Goodbye. Good night.
Yeah, goodbye.